So this is PARSEC's Traxxas demo system. For those that aren't familiar with this is a simulated environment of a vitamin producer, Orange County Vitamins. This is replicating a batch plant that produces a variety of vitamins, and various different areas of productions are similar to what you'd see in a real facility, like warehousing, batching, packaging. So as John outlined before, there's various different areas of traceabilities, and to demonstrate this, we're going to do a little bit of jumping around. To start out, we're going to head over to the warehousing section. So this takes us to the warehouse overview screen, which shows us high-level information about the inventory management. So if we're going to head over to the receiving area, so this is kind of a typical receiving piece of material coming into a facility. We want to be able to give it a unique ID and then identify what type of material it is and where its location is. So if you have a facility that has RFID or any other automation system, we're able to utilize that here. And so for this demonstration, say we have a RFID scanner, we scan in the item, and we can also scan in the location that it is going to be at. And we just need to verify or identify the contents within this item. So say it is bottles, 200 bottles, and received in 10 of them. So we can then add any other context information that we want to this and save that information. That'll then bring us to an update screen or even a tracking screen to then, if we want to move this item through the facility, or if we want to set up standardized actions for each item, say if we want to spoil it, change up the cycle counts, split the item into multiple items and split it out, or move it throughout the facility, as I said before. We can take those actions and we can standardize them, or as we see here. If your facility has a higher level of automation for its receiving parts, so say for this example, we're able to actually integrate with our suppliers, and so they're able to publish information and that's not necessarily localized to your current network. If they are able to publish that information through the internet, Traxxas has the ability to be able to receive that and set up that information. So we're expecting these 3 orders to come in, and so instead of going through a manual process, we can then just receive this information, and then we just have to verify the contents of it. So the expected quantity, the lot information, any other content information that we get from the supplier, we're able to already have that available, and we just need to verify the contents of it. And then say we did receive all 4,500 of these bottles, and we accept it. It'll take us then to the item tracking area, where we can then go through and track this item. So we'll get more into that a little bit later. But Traxxas has the capabilities of being able to integrate all this information depending upon your specific scenario of automation. But then also Traxxas in this circumstance could also be the intermediary between an ERP system. So we're able to then publish that we did receive this information to your ERP or your warehouse management system. So it gives you a higher level of resolution of where material is, because sometimes there are these blind spots within ERPs or warehouse, where when it is going through transition pieces is that you don't know exactly where the item is at, and so you're able to track it throughout the whole facility. So let's shift gears here from receiving and head over to the production element of tracking material consumptions. So we're going to head to the batching area, and we're going to dive into the pre-weigh area. So getting into line 1 and going over to pre-weigh. In this screen, we're able to see all the current jobs staged up for line 1, the planned start, the product name, and the recipe associated with that, and then even the batch and size. If we're able to select a specific job, we're able to see the materials that are necessary for this job and the amounts available of each material and the quantity necessary for it. as well as if you look onto the right side, we're able to see the current availability of, say, maltodextrin in the facility and where they're located and the amount size available for it. So if we're needing to have, say, 42 kilograms for this example, we'd be able to save ourselves a trip going into the batching line 2 and just going straight to the supermarket to be able to grab the associated quantity, just saving yourself time on that front. So since we're in the batching material pre-weight, let's go to measuring. This will take us to a different screen. We're able to see all the associated information for the job and material type and the quantity that is required for this batch and the associated acceptable tolerances for that. And so we're wanting to add 5 kilograms of malto, but we have 3 different options here, and we're able to see in this pull down the amount available, but then also relevant information of expiration dates. And so wanting to be able to utilize the soonest expiration date, so we're eliminating spoiled waste on that sort of thing. So we're able to make a selection, and then if we're tied into your scale, being able to make that weight and then adding that amount to the system so that we're able to make sure that we're tolerance. The main takeaway for this, depending, is that we're creating a record of the lot that we're utilizing, the material consumed, as well as any other relevant information about the user and any necessary notes that the user decides to add to it. This is all catered to whatever your specific use case is. Now let's head back to the warehouse scenario and see the different ways that we're able to track the material through the facility. One is location tracking. So in these areas, we're able to see everything that is currently in each one of these locations. So storage, staging, production areas of the facility, but then breaking down those even further to individual racks if you need to, depending upon your guys' current use case. So we're able to see the material, the lot, the quantity, and even the last action. Another way we're able to look at it is being able to aggregate all the material inventory together and being able to break that down into the various parts of the facility's production process. So for batch raw materials, we're able to look at all the current inventory levels of it, and then based upon estimates through the production, and we're able to see the daily use of it, and then taking that value, we're able to see what the estimate days to empty would be, and you're able to do some reordering process. But what we really want to highlight here is the inventory levels in different areas that you're able to see the material. So maltodextrin here, we're able to see on the top right where in the facility that this material is currently at, and then we'll be able to drill down from there. So if we want to look at the pallet 428, we're able to go over to the tracking item, and we're able to see all the actions that has taken place in this item's history all the way up to its receiving. So it's been consumed in 4 different areas. We're able to see what is being utilized off of each time it's been consumed, what lot is being able to consumed from, and location wise, as well as the user. So we're able to see all the relevant information about this item. We're also then able to see where it's being consumed by, as well, which batch process is going through. So the main piece of being able to tracking, or 2 different ways that tracking is usually utilized, is bottom up, in which case you'd say that your vendor has notified you that you have a bad material for whatever reason, and we need to be able to find where it's being utilized at, or if quality control decides it flags a bad product, that we need to be able to see where what went into that product to make it. And so those are typically the two different ways, but you're able to do any different way in the middle. So for this case, we're wanting to track the maltodextrin and see what batches that is being able to utilize in. And so we're seeing that it's utilized in these two batches, but if that would be more of a bottom-up scenario. But if we were find ourselves in a top-down scenario of this batch is bad, we need to find out what went all into this batch. We're able to see over on the right the consumption records of this batch product and what went all into it. All these records will give us the ability to be able to track the product throughout the facility as well as the production process, and then make informed decisions from there. Another way we're able to look at the items is not necessarily in just the item tracking view, but in the genealogy tree view. And so looking through this, we're able to see where the item was at, the items, the compounds that went into making these items. So you're able to see it from a reverse genealogy standpoint or forward, depending upon what the product type is. And so if it's a material, what went into make, or where that material went would be a forward genealogy. But if it was a compound or a final product, what went into making that product. And so you're able to see it in two different perspectives here. One of the final ways we're able to track material is through the job records. So if we go back into the batching area and head over to line 1 and go to job overview, this is all the past jobs that have been completed for line 1. So if we're drilled down into this job, this screen will show us all the aggregated information for this job, from the production and material utilized to the batch process as well as the production process. It's all located, everything for this job is located in one location. So if we wanted to drill down further from here, we can, and we can see everything that is being utilized for this, from the batches, the number of batches, to the material, all the material that went into this, and we're able to then go through the tracing process from here as well. So this kind of wraps up the whole traceability demonstration, but hopefully be able to encapsulate the record creation process and the other various options of being able to create the records, as well as the different avenues that we're able to track the material throughout the facility and the production environment. I'll hand it back to you, John.